entire team for taking this fight. He didn't need to. We appreciate him coming here. He was a great opponent for Andre. I also want to thank Alex Campanova, his promoter, who we worked very, very closely with. We appreciated his support. They're pros and professional, and we wish them the best of luck moving forward. I want to thank all of our friends at Oracle Arena, specifically Chris Wright, the general manager here, who has really supported us and Andre over the last 16 months. As many of you know, this was the third fight that Rock Nation has promoted here in this building during that period of time. And I also want to thank the fans of Oakland and the entire Bay Area who have been absolutely terrific. It's a dream of Andre's to be able to live and train and obviously fight here in his hometown. And the reception that we receive each and every time has been absolutely magnificent. So I want to thank the fans here. I want to thank all the government officials who have supported us. And I hope, that they will support us and continue to support Andre on November 19th. I also want to thank all of our sponsors from tonight, because without their support, we can't have these events. We had 8 or 9 sponsors that supported, tonight's event, and I want to thank each and every one of them. And of course, last but not least, I want to thank HBO and Peter Nelson for their continued support of Andre as well as Rock Nation. They're absolutely the best in the business, and we look forward to working with them on November 19th as part of their HBO pay-per-view production. Needless to say, this was a big night for Andre. As I said earlier, it was a masterful performance. Once again, he didn't lose a round. We felt that Andre needed this fight before the big one on November 19th. It's been an incredible journey for him. November 19th obviously will be the biggest fight and the biggest challenge of his career. We're so proud of him and his family for what they've done to this point, as well as his performance tonight. And Andre, on behalf of Rock Nation, we could not be more proud of you. Great job tonight. And now for the champ.
Appreciate it, Michael. I want to thank everybody who came out tonight. A great crowd, great turnout. Rock Nation Sports, they jumped into this business. A lot of people said they didn't have a lot of experience, which they didn't, but I said that they're the type of company that everything they touch, they're going to be successful because they got the right team in place. They have the right mindset toward business, and they're successful in everything that they do. So to see them rapidly moving through the sport and making some big moves is really grateful to be a part of, and I'm appreciative to be a part of the team, and it's just an awesome thing to be a part of. So I appreciate Rock Nation too. They did a great job once again. Just to second what Michael said, just thanking all the sponsors. We had some great sponsors for this fight. Obviously HBO, my team, James Prince, Josh Dubin, my coach Verge for getting me ready. Just everybody. I mean, it's a lot that goes into these events. I know it looks like we just kind of come in and make it look easy and then we leave, but it's a lot that goes into this in preparation. It's a lot that goes into it with negotiations, and I'm just thankful to have a good team behind me and to have a good foundation so I can just focus on boxing. As far as the performance tonight, I thought I did a good job. Alexander Brand was not the top guy on my list. I knew he was going to be very, very, very awkward. He's not necessarily, doesn't fight like Kovalev at all. But at the same time, it's a good guy to fight because you have to stay alert at all times. He's a veteran. I had to exercise some patience tonight because I wanted to get him out of there very, very bad. But at the same time, you got to be smart because he's literally closing his eyes and swinging for the fences and hoping he lands something. And this is professional boxing with small gloves on, so anything can happen. He caught me a couple times, but nothing that was, nothing that buzzed me or anything like that. But you just got to stay alert. And I was trying to push, but I wasn't able to get the knockout tonight. But I'm thankful I got the win. I'm excited about November, and I'm coming to get those belts.
All right. Yeah. Guys, raise hands for questions, and I'll call on you. Please don't shout out.
Seneca, you have cleaned out and dominated an entire division. What type of habits have you cultivated to do so, and how do you maintain them?
I mean, I'm working on another division right now, but we did beat a lot of great champions at 168. It took a lot of time, and you know, I was involved in a unique tournament, the Super Six, which allowed me to fight a lot of great fighters quicker than I probably would have. So that had a lot to do with it. And now I'm hitting reset. I'm starting over. So, you know, at 20, you know, at 20, it'll be 22 years in the sport this December. I'm a young veteran, and you got to keep finding things to motivate you. And my motivation is to be a multi-divisional champion, to be one of the all-time greats, and to whatever you say about me, you'll never be able to say I didn't fight the best. And that's what I want my legacy to be, and to walk away from this sport at the right time and then try to give back the best way that I can.
Congratulations, Andre. You've moved up to 175, had a couple of fights there now. How does your body feel as a full-fledged light heavyweight, and will you be working with Mackie Chillstone in preparation for this fight?
I mean, my body feels good. I don't think I can make 168 anymore. You know, 75 isn't easy to make. I'm not doing anything crazy to make it, but it's not the easiest thing to make. Mackie's my guy. I consult with Mackie all the time. We're talking about doing some work for the next fight. But, you know, I talked to Mackie this morning. You know, we chatted this morning, and he's just a very knowledgeable individual. I think Mackie's almost 70 years old. If he's not 70 years old, this man gets up at 5 in the morning. He'll show you a six-pack if you want to see it. The man is phenomenal. He's just, he motivates me. And I love being around him. I love talking to him. So we're talking about doing something for the next fight.
Dre, your ability to work from both stances tonight was incredible. Just
I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, and it was something that I hadn't seen. And so, your preparation was that, you know, did you plan to work both stances, or is that something that just happened to work for you tonight?
My wife, man, she been, like, honestly, she been getting on me about it. She's like, why haven't you been turning southpaw? I'm like, because, like, I don't know.
Listen to her.
You need to probably start doing that more. So we've been kind of like talking about it. And then Virgin's been pushing me in camp a lot to start doing it. And that's something I did a lot more as an amateur and even early in my career. And I couldn't tell you why I got away from it. You know, I don't know. But, you know, it's something that's natural. I'm naturally left-handed. Virgil turned me around when I was a kid. So I feel very comfortable from that stance. I have a very strong left hand. And it's something I got to keep doing because it's very effective.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Andre, speaking of which, I was just curious if you could talk further about preparing for a guy like Alexander Brand, because to me he doesn't really resemble anybody else out there other than maybe Sam Solomon or something like that.
That's a good comparison.
So, can you talk about preparing for a style like his?
I mean, you try to get we had good sparring. We had some different looks. I think the key is different looks. You know, we had some tall guys. We had, you know, several guys that were his height that, you know, fought similar, you know, who, you know, were tough and threw wide punches and hard punches. And, you know, you do the best you can to get guys that are compatible and guys that are similar. But it's like I told the HBO crew yesterday, you know, this wasn't the top guy on my list. He's a very awkward guy. I expected actually it to be an ugly fight, and I expected him to be doing a lot more mauling and holding. But I said I have to figure it out. Like a top fighter, you have to figure it out. There's no excuses. Like if I'm fighting a brawler, a short guy, a rangy guy, if you want to be the best, you have to find a way. So we found a way tonight. Again, I wanted to get a knockout. I wanted to stop him. I wasn't able to do that, but I am happy I got another 12 rounds under my belt.
Congratulations, Andre, on your fight.
Thank you.
My name is Tone with T1 Visuals. Do you think after the Sergey fight, will you still, if you're successful, are you still going to continue to fight at the Oracle, or the rest of your fights are going to be towards like Vegas or the Barclays Center?
I mean, I'm never abandon Oracle. You know, I think, you know, we're able to take care of our business in November. We're just going to be in a stronger position. That's all that means, you know. And of course, it's a business aspect of it, but you know, my team knows how I feel about, you know, my hometown and my home area. I'm gonna never abandon Oracle ever, and I'll never apologize for fighting here either. Won't do it.
So looking at some of the younger boxers like Devin Haney, what type of advice would you give them to stay the distance?
As far as just their career, I mean, it's, you know, it's tough. I mean, I just try to, you know, give advice if it's asked of me, you know. I don't know if I'll ever have an official role in this sport, like a promoter or a manager. You know, I don't know. I kind of struggle with that. I don't know if that's something I want to do, but you know, I have been, and I want to continue to be a guy that's available for somebody to call, somebody to pull to the side and talk to. And you know, it's been amazing how, you know, some of the trials I've been through, you know, through boxing has, you know, it wasn't just for me. You know, I've had so many people call me, send me contracts, and I'm like, listen, I'm not a lawyer. I can't read this, but I can get it in the right hands. And just ask me my advice because they know I've weathered the storm and got through things like that. So I just try to give advice wherever I feel is needed. You know, I don't try to bombard guys because my way is not necessarily right for them. But a guy like Devin Haney, he's on the right track, and he's ahead of the game because he has a father who is leading him in the right direction, who's helping him. He's listening to his dad. So that's more than half the battle. So a kid like Devin is going to be just fine, and if he stays focused, which I believe he will, he's going to be a champion for a long time.
Now, your opponent was extremely wild. He kind of had like a Ricardo Mayorga type of style where he was really, I think he knocked himself down at one point.
He knocked himself down.
So how do you stay defensively responsible with a guy who's just, like you said, swinging for the...
It's mental. It's just staying alert. It's just staying alert. I mean, I got pretty good instincts in there, and a couple punches he threw, I was like, wow. Like,
I look disrespected at some of the punches you were trying to throw.
Yeah, like, you really think you're going to hit me with that? That's how you feel? But that's who he is. I mean, some of the uppercuts and some, you know, when Virg was pressing me, he was like, come on, son, let's get it. He wanted me to get the rounds and try to get him out of there inside of 10. He wanted the rounds for sure. And I tried, man, you know, and I'm really hard on myself, man. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get that, but, you know, I tried. You know, I tried, but at the same time, like you said, I got to be defensively responsible because if he catch me with something stupid, you know, everybody's faces are going to look a lot different out there at this press conference right now. You had a award, and then, you know, you got, you know, the fight's off in November, and, you know, how you feel about that? And I didn't want to have answer those kind of questions, so I just tried to be smart.
Like you say, I voted on your left hand tonight, the young boxer right here, and he called him 40 push-ups. Yeah, because he had you pegged through most of the fight as a young boxer, and he told me you weren't going to get a left-hand knockout.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, he'll get it.
Yeah, I tried, man. I'm sorry. I tried.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay, me and you going a day apart, but
You the 22nd or 24th?
22nd.
Okay.
22nd. What do you think your run means, you know, for an urban city like Oakland?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. In a nutshell, anything is possible. You know, it's a lot of. I think I heard Marshawn say this one time that, you know, some of the greatest talents never make it out. You know, some of the greatest basketball players. It's a lot of smart people in urban communities, like extremely smart, but, you know, either didn't get opportunities, made bad decisions. It's a slew of different things that happened where they didn't make it out. Some of the best basketball players in the world, they played on the playground. They didn't make it to the NBA. So, yeah, man. I mean, that's just one amongst many. But it just shows you that anything is possible. And if you really want to do something in life, it's very simple. You have to work. You have to work, and you have to continue to work. And when you don't feel like working anymore, you have to continue to work. And I'm a firm believer that when you work hard, great things happen. Things fall into place. So myself and many others, man, you know, look at us and just try to pull something from there and just realize that, man, you can take the easy road out and sell drugs or commit crimes and do things that maybe will get you some quick gratification, but it's only a couple ways that's going to end. Stay focused, man. Get good grades. So what if they call you a square? Be a square. Do what you got to do, because in the end, you're going to be happy.
I wanted to just make a quick announcement. The attendance tonight was 8,653. Great.
Hi, Richard Ortiz with the Sweet Science versus the Cage. Hey, listen, whenever you put your mindset to something, you accomplish it. And you've mentioned before, you may even move up in weight. Can we possibly see you at heavyweight? I know you mentioned it before. I know it's still early, but after you get your victory in November?
Man, I would love, I mean, you know, that's obviously a dream. I've talked about it. I can see that happening, but obviously, you know, like you said, first things first. I got a major task ahead of me in light heavyweight, but I could definitely see that, you know, go to heavyweight. They have to be the right guy. You know, it couldn't be a Klitschko or somebody like that. You know, it's got to be the right heavyweight.
Right. And I know you're a role model to young athletes coming out here. And I'm going to put you on the spot. Kilo Madera from your area, and
Yeah,
also Joe
my boy.
Smoke Show.
Yeah.
They're fighting September 10th. Who do you have and
Oh,
why?
man, I can't pick that. I like both them guys, man. And I'm kind of mad they're fighting, too.
Yeah.
I sparred with both of them to get ready for this fight.
Everybody in my area didn't think I would ask that question, but I did. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, appreciate it.
Kilo
Appreciate
came
it.
to the gym, and he's talking smack about him, and then Joe came, and Joe was talking, I'm like, oh, my God. This is going to be a good fight. I'm going to try to make it out there, too.
Hey, big plug, September 10th in
Tachi,
Livermore,
right?
California. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
try
we'll
to make
be
it
there
out.
and we'll get that soundbite, sir.
Appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you.
Congratulations again on your win. So you've had 2 fights as a full-fledged light heavyweight, and you've looked good in both. How important is it on November 19th to make a very emphatic statement in beating Sergey Kovalev to claim, domination, or to ascend? Yeah.
I mean, you could say that I've accomplished enough where no matter what happens in that fight, my legacy is set. And I think that's the reality of the situation. But that's not how it's going to be viewed. You know, this is a career-defining fight. That's the kind of pressure that I put on myself. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get that task handled. And that takes nothing away from Sergey Kovalev, because he's everything that people say that he is. But this is Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns all over again, where it's 50-50. Who's going to rise to the occasion? That's what my father used to say. And, you know, I plan on doing that. It's going to take a lot of work. But I'm willing to go through whatever I got to go through to get where I'm trying to get.
Congratulations.
Andre, you're an old school fighter, and I always feel like no one ever gives you the respect for the Chad Dawson win when you got that one. Is Sergey to you kind of like the old school mentality, that real big fight like you were alluding to, that all the old guys used to take on?
Yeah, it's a new age in boxing, kind of based on how the monopoly board is set up with managers and certain promoters and different things like that, and that's fine. You know, I'm all for guys, you know, getting paid more money and maybe taking less risk, because typically it's the other way around. They're taking heavy risk and not getting compensated equally. So, you know, there's a place for that, and then there's a place for guys saying, okay, you know, get the money right, and I fight the best guy out there. So, I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy on the block. I'm just trying to do my part. This is my race, and I'm trying to finish my race and finish it strong. And I'm trying to be great, man. You know, some people say, oh, you're already great, but I don't look at it like that. You know, I have a lot of work to do, because when I'm finished, I want to look back and say, man, I didn't waste a day. I didn't squander a fight. I didn't squander a training camp. It's a tough business, man. I've been doing this 22 years. It's a long time. That's a lot of training camps. That's a lot of miles that I've ran. That's a lot. So when you go into a fight like in November, it's not just, I mean, I've been groomed for these moments since I've been a kid. So yeah, we got to go to training camp. Yeah, we have to shift our focus on one guy. But this is what I've been groomed for. This is what I've sacrificed for all my life, to be able to be that guy in that moment. And that's what I'm going to be working toward.
Hey, Andre, congratulations on tonight.
Thank you.
One of the undercard fights tonight featured a local young lady, Raquel.
How did she do?
Could you give us a comment?
She won? Okay, yeah.
Her fight? Can you give us some thoughts about it?
I didn't see it, but I'm so happy she was on the card, though. I think she was a late addition.
She was.
I'm so happy she was on the card. Number one, for her being, you know, Bay Area native, and getting that you know, that shine, and just getting opportunity. You guys would be shocked, man. It's hard to, women don't get opportunities like that. And you know, kudos to Rock Nation for giving her the opportunity and giving a female fighter an opportunity like that, because they I'm telling you, the women, man, they sacrifice like we sacrifice, and they're fighting for respect, and they just don't get it. And people say there's no market for it, but for somebody like Rock Nation to take a chance on them and say, okay, we're going to create a market, man, that's a blessing. So I was so happy when I heard she was on the card. I'm glad she won, and I'm sure she's going to get more opportunities.
Andre, your performance tonight, your defense really stood out. I mean, my peers and I, we cover fights day in and day out, and I know there was a couple of moments where I was sitting next to people and we went, woo! You know,
I was doing that too. He's throwing some stuff at me. Yeah. I was like, woo.
But your ability, to avoid the punches, your defense was just masterful, and that whole make them miss, make them pay mentality. Your accuracy was just something of greatness tonight. So I have to ask you, when you have that momentum going into the Kovalev fight, do you think that those two things, both your accuracy and your defense, are kind of your edge going into Kovalev?
I don't know if it's an edge, but it's definitely an asset. It's definitely, that's just part of who I am. I feel like I'm not going to give you anything for free. If you hit me, you're going to earn it. That's the way it's got to be. I'm not a punching bag. I got great legs, and I'm going to use them. And I don't run. I'm not a runner, but it's about angles and, just inches. And as you get older, you saw in Floyd's career, like, he moved a lot early. And then he realized I don't have to move like that. I just take a half step back, boom, I hit you, and that discourages you from throwing punches. And I'm getting into that mode where I don't have to move as much. I move just enough. I do just what I have to do. So I don't know if it's an edge. It's just something that he's gonna have to deal with, just like it's things on his side that I got to deal with. And we got to see. We got two great trainers, and it's gonna be a great fight, man. It's the biggest fight in boxing, hands down.
Definitely.
A question. After the Sergey fight was successful, is there anybody else you see you fighting in the light heavyweight division?
The way my brain works, like, he's the only guy in the division. He's literally the only guy in the division. He's the man. Who else is above him at light heavyweight? So that's a situation where you focus on him, you beat him, and then you sit down and weigh your options with your team and see what's next. You can't juggle both, Yeah.
Another question I have for you, Andre, is in your past fights here at Oracle, you've had a great turnout. Rock Nation's done a great job, promoting your fight, bringing in the crowd.
Yep.
And you've also had your teammates like Amir Khan, Andre Berto, Peter Quinlan made the flight out here. How does it feel to represent a diverse sports community like the Bay Area, where we have the Giants, the Niners, the Raiders, the Golden State Warriors? How does it feel to represent the Bay Area every time you step into the ring?
Man, it's beautiful, because in the Bay Area, I'm probably one of the only things that everybody can agree on. The Giants and the A's and the Niners and the Raiders. So I guess maybe the Sharks and the Warriors. Outside of that, everybody's fighting. Everybody's against each other. So it's wonderful, man. This is like literally, these moments like this, driving to this arena when I fight here and walking in the building, like I'm telling you, like I couldn't explain to you what goes through my head. Like I'm trying to keep myself calm because it's such a surreal moment. Like this is really happening. Like this is what I dreamed about. This is what I always wanted. And to live it out, to see the people come out, the news, websites, all these different people, it's amazing, man. It's hard to explain, but it's tough because I'm still active, so I have to stay in the moment. I can't relish it too much. I can't get too caught up in it, but I'm aware. I talk to my wife about it. I talk to my family and friends about it, man. It's a blessing.
Thanks
it's
again.
A blessing. Yeah.
Other questions?
right there, we a day apart. We a day apart.
And I'm also Jamil, and I represent Let's Talk Sports Nation, an urban news group from the Bay Area. But
that's what's up, man. Keep it going.
Thank you. So since like Joe Louis, Max Mellon, and then we just also had Terrence Crawford and that guy Postall. Right. We also had Apollo Creed and right now we got you in Kovalev, right?
Wheeler.
So would you say there's a rivalry growing between American fighters and Eastern European fighters, African American fighters mainly?
I don't know about African American fighters, but the Eastern European fighters are here. A lot of them. So they're getting those opportunities. So yeah, I think there's an inherent probably rivalry there, between Americans and Russians, because they're on our turf, they're on our soil, they're coming here to try to make a name. So, and we trying to defend what we have, so to speak. That's how I look at it. No disrespect, it's nothing personal, but yeah, I think it's an inherent rivalry there because they're coming to try to take something that we have.
And it's pretty much a formality, as questions for Michael, but can we formally announce that the fight's going to take place November 19th at T-Mobile Arena?
We haven't decided yet. We hope to have that resolved, within the next couple of days, maybe sometime next week. But that's a decision that Main Events and Rock Nation will make, together.
but we're not in a position to name the venue at this point. You know, what we do know is on November 19th on HBO pay-per-view, and you know, sometime next week we'll give some more information.
Are there contracts that have already been signed to some extent, or?
No.
No. Thank you.
When people ask me what your style is, I always say, well, I think you're the antithesis to whoever you step in the ring with. I'm curious, who would you compare yourself to historically if you had to?
I think I'm a combination of Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins, and Floyd Mayweather. That may sound arrogant, but
It's a good combo.
No. I'm just saying, like, those are guys that I really study, and that's who I have in my style. And obviously Andre Ward. You know, it's like Virgil style mixed in with all of those guys. You know, I can fight inside. I can get rough. You know, I can be flashy. I can, you know, do certain things when I need to, and then, you know, I can be very systematic like Floyd and break a guy down. So I think, you know, I've taken something from all three of those guys. But at the same time, trying to stay true to who I am and just be myself, so that makes sense.
Which you are.
Yeah, thank you. Try to be formless, man, like Bruce Lee said.
There you go. Like water.
I'm what I need to be when I need to be it, you know, and it's funny because people try to tag me like, oh, he's a technical fighter, oh, he's a slick fighter. Not really, man, it's a lot more going on in there than just being slick. Because if it wasn't, a lot of the guys that I fought would try to walk through me. I fought some of the biggest punchers in my division, and if I wasn't hitting hard and I didn't have nothing to offer, trust me, they'd be walking straight. It's funny, the same thing they say about Floyd. Oh, he can't hit. Somebody's putting them knots on them guys' heads. Somebody's stopping them from running in there. Like, but it's not maybe boom, boom, where guys out, so people just don't think you're hitting hard. But trust me, the opponent wouldn't say that if he was being honest.
You can see the sweat fly.
Boy born the day after.
Sweat off.
Any other questions?
Oh, wait, last one.
Yes.
You are a phenomenal broadcaster. Love watching you broadcast.
Thank you.
I know how much you love to apply that craft as well. How disappointed are you that you won't be able to broadcast, to be an announcer at the Ward Kovalev?
Oh, man. I'm pretty disappointed, man. Honestly. I don't even know how I don't know how I would call that fight. Probably lean toward a guy named Ward. You know, say pretty good.
Thank you all so much for coming out today. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.